There should be something here for everyone because we have made an effort to keep this list as diverse as possible, including frightful games like Resident Evil and family-friendly Ratchet and Clank. We've compiled a list of the top 10 best games to play on PS5, and that's before we even conclude the titles that haven't been released yet, such as God of War, Ragnarok, which will debut later this year as a PlayStation exclusive. The top 10 PS5 games that we have so far evaluated are listed here if you are more interested in what you can play now. But before we start, subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon as well. Number 10. Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut. It was evident Sucker Punch had learned a lot about making an engaging open world since its efforts on the infamous franchise when Ghost of Tsushima was released on the PlayStation 4. Thanks to its stunning visuals and impressive open world, Ghost of Tsushima already felt like a next-generation game when it was released on the PlayStation 4. But Ghost of Tsushima's Director's Cut is the ultimate version, and playing it on the PS5 makes it even better. This complete package makes excellent use of the DualSense in both exploration and combat, even as a polished PS4 game. The must-play edition of must-play PlayStation game has been updated with a new lip sync for the Japanese voiceover and somehow graphic and performance enhancements. Sony promised PlayStation users that it would continue creating single-player narrative-based games like Ghost of Tsushima when it entered the live service industry more deeply. Number 9. Astros Playroom. One of the PS5's most distinguishing features is the DualSense controller, whose subtle haptic feedback and cleverly placed adjustable triggers produce an immersive experience that feels truly unique. The DualSense controller's capabilities are physically displayed in Astros Playroom, which is the best place to see this technology in action. The PS5 and various PlayStation software and hardware generations are all celebrated in this would-be tech demo's charming mix of worlds, which is also a terrific game in and of itself. Players who previously adored PlayStation will fall in love with it all over again after playing Astro's Playroom. You will be aiming for the platinum and obtaining it quickly thanks to its strong platforming, entertaining environmental puzzles, and alluring assortment of treasures. Number 8. Deathloop. Deathloop by Arcane Studios is unquestionably one of the more original experiences to date to grace the PS5. To create an extraordinarily deep and entertaining universe, Arcane draws on the immersive sim foundation from its previous games. Exploration is its own puzzle, with the appropriate paths of travel, weapons and abilities to employ, and even the best times of day to visit particular spots in Arcane's stunning, Sol base-inspired world is full of quirky oddities to pick up on and exploit to achieve your goals. Deathloop's time loop is one of the most distinctive and rewarding to navigate in a time when time loops are the craze in video games, making knowledge its own reward on top of a variety of spectacular powers. And let's not even mention the magnificent soundtrack. Number 7. Resident Evil Village. The mysterious and supernatural have never been avoided by the Resident Evil, and Village leans more heavily into those themes than any other game in the franchise to yet. Resident Evil Village resembles a mad circus, complete with severed hands that can be easily reattached, floating deadly dolls, and 9-foot-tall lady vampires, while still following the primary antagonist narrative that started in the Resident Evil 7. It delivered us Lady Dimitrescu in one fell swoop, who will go on to become one of the most recognizable Resi antagonists ever. With new tools at your disposal to investigate them, it returns the series to its Metroidvania roots by requiring you to go back to places you have already visited multiples of times during your playthrough. It's by far the most fanciful the franchise has ever been, and it's unclear at this point whether we would even want Resident Evil to return to its more simple zombie roots. Capcom has announced that free DLC for the Resident Evil Village will arrive in the future. Additionally, a remake of the Resident Evil 4, being developed by the same studio, is said to be more horror-oriented than the original. Number 6. Demon's Souls. With the PS5 version of the Demon's Souls, Blueprint Games was expected to live up to some lofty expectations. It served as the first significant demonstration of what a dedicated PS5 game of this scale may look like, in addition to being an eagerly awaited remake of a beloved and iconic game. Thankfully, Blueprint met their promise, and Demon's Souls is not only breathtakingly beautiful, but also remarkably loyal to the original work. It's undoubtedly one of the richest, most complex, and hardest experiences currently available on a console. In 2021, PlayStation formally bought the developer Blueprint Games. The next game from the studios won't be a remake, it will be an original. Number 5. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart is a magnificent demonstration of what Sony's next-generation platform can achieve as Insomniac's first genuinely unique PS5 title, owing to a franchise that was virtually designed to take advantage of all the new bells and whistles. There is charm galore in both recurring characters and brand new ones like the amazing River Kid, whether you are fresh to the dude's travels or have followed them since the PS2 era. A theme park ride-like voyage through a variety of extraterrestrial worlds is at the heart of the charming and surprisingly poignant story. It runs well on the PS5 and is brilliantly realized in the depth and clarity of detail. The weapons in Ripped Apart are among the greatest in the series, ranging from the bizarre Topari Sprinkler to the devastating Executor, and they all make excellent use of the DualSense's haptics and adaptable triggers. Ratchet and Clank may be one of the longest-running Sony properties currently seeing new additions. But its Ripped Apart is only indication. There is still so much life, humor, and brilliant action left to explore. Number 4. Spider-Man Miles Morales. Miles Morales is left in charge of the New York, while Peter Parker goes on vacation in this standalone expansion, which isn't a full-fledged sequel. New York has been gloriously covered with snow, festive cheer, and next-gen polish, building on the incredibly strong foundation of the Insomniac's original game. The upgrades go beyond aesthetics, though. The title character has a few more spider powers available to him than the Peter Parker, and these are deftly adapted into new gameplay mechanics that, while they don't completely reinvent the wheel, they do give it enough of a twist to feel novel, sometimes literally, thanks to the DualSense controller. Although Miles Morales' story doesn't have as strong of a campaign as many interesting villains as SpiderMan from the 2018, it still has just as much charm and emotion as the previous film, if not more. Miles Morales easily overcomes the lofty standard set by the film's tagline, "Be Greater." And there's no reason not to buy the Ultimate Edition and Marvel Spider-Man Remastered as well, if you enjoy Miles Morales but somehow missed out on or want to revisit its predecessor. We previously put MSMR as a single game on this list because it was such an excellent port, but considering the range of the games, we want now spotlight on the PS5 and its availability exclusively as a part of the Miles Special Edition. We opted to couple it with our recommendation here. Number 3. Returnal. In some ways, Returnal is a pathfinder, despite the fact that the roguelike have long been one of the most well-liked game genres on the indie sector, spearheaded by the titles like the Spelunky 2, Dead Cells, Enter the Gungeon, and The Binding of the Isaac. We've never really seen something exactly like Returnal in the AAA market. Returnal creates unique experiences by fusing Holmes Mark's proficiency with furious, bullet hell arcadey shoot 'em ups with sophisticated roguelike mechanism and a thick, unsettling atmosphere. It's difficult to find fault with the Returnal's tremendously daring and ambitious take on the AAA roguelike now that it's one of the shortcomings. In the inability to pause its protracted runs and save your progress has been fixed. A new survivor mode and campaign co-op are now included in the Returnal Ascension, a free upgrade. Number 2, Horizon Forbidden West. In order to tell a deeper, more thrilling story that amplifies the serious, intense battles against the challenging robotic foes and eye-popping action sequences, Horizon Forbidden West expands on the already impressive world of the Horizon Zero Dawn. It also introduces lively settlements and thoughtful, engaging side quests. On the PS5, the Forbidden West is truly stunning, from the wide and frequently breathtaking vistas to the incredibly detailed faces and clothing of the characters you meet. For those who are curious, there's a real sense of discovery as well as a ton of totally captivating world building to discover. Horizon Forbidden West is a blast and a terrific demonstration of the potential of the PS5. It boasts engrossing action, top-notch monster and character design, and gripping open world. Number 1, Elden Ring. Even if it's challenging, let's try to summarize everything that makes Elden Ring such a significant game. At its foundation, Elden Ring's wonderful sense of the freedom and discovery. There are open world games that are bigger than Elden Ring, prettier than Elden Ring, and quite honestly run better than Elden Ring, but few, if any, are as robust or as fulfilling. The land between is positively covered in branching paths that lead to catacombs, dungeons, caves, forts, castles, towers, and even entire underground cities. Each of them contains some sort of special challenge, from a trap-filled crypt with insta-kill chariots racing down every slope to one of the Elden Ring's many amazing boss fights. The best part of it all is that each task has its own generous prize that could tip the difficulty curve in your favor. Whether it be a new spell, summon, weapon, or resource that enables you to modify your equipment, Elden Ring is the most universally acclaimed game from software to date. It can be an extremely challenging game indeed, but the freedom it offers you to get through or around the challenge is immensely freeing. So, which game have you already tried? Which one is your most favorite? Do let us know in the comments. If you like these types of videos, subscribe to our channel for further updates.